Whether you've just completed school or you graduated decades ago, there are likely many things you don't know about the extraordinary planet on which we live. Were you aware that the Pacific Ocean is shrinking every year? Or that the world includes a sea without coasts? Or that Alaska isn't just the westernmost state in the US, but the easternmost as well? In today's video, we will be showing you the geography random ridiculous facts. Without further ado, let's begin. The world's entire population could fit inside the state of Texas. Get this, if all of us lived at the same density level as New York City, the world's population would cover about 250,404 square miles. That means there would technically be enough space for all 7.5 billion people to live in Texas, which is 268,597 square miles in total. Granted, things might get a little crowded. Over 40 buildings in New York City have their own zip codes. Speaking of densely populated areas, Manhattan, the most crowded of New York City's 5 boroughs, is so cramped that it has over 200 zip codes. Some skyscrapers are even large enough to have one of their very own. The Empire State, Chrysler, and MetLife buildings are just a few that can claim exclusive rights to their own unique zip code. Don't miss these 30 geography facts everybody keeps getting wrong. Alaska is the country's westernmost and easternmost state. When you look at a map, you'll notice that Alaska is the westernmost part of the United States. But you might not guess that Alaska is also the country's easternmost state too. How could that be? Islands in Alaska's Aleutian chain extend out into the eastern hemisphere. Can you identify the U.S. state by the states that border it? Parts of Nevada are farther west than Los Angeles, California. California is one of the westernmost U.S. states and makes up the majority of the nation's west coast. Meanwhile, the city of Reno, Nevada, is nearly 300 miles from the ocean. But believe it or not, Reno is roughly 86 miles farther west than the coastal city of Los Angeles. Neither Florida nor California have the longest U.S. coastline. Most people would probably guess that Florida or California have the longest coastlines in the country. But in reality, Alaska is the national coastline champ. Its coast spans 6,640 miles or 10,686 kilometers in total, which is more than all of the other 49 states combined. Think you can pass Geography 101? Take this geography quiz to find out. The United States boasts a mountain that is taller than Mount Everest. At 29,028 feet or 8,848 meters, Mount Everest is considered the world's highest mountain above sea level. However, the tallest mountain in the world is actually located in the United States. Hawaii's Mauna Kea is over 32,000 feet, 10,000 meters, tall when measured from the seafloor, because it only reaches 13,796 feet, 4,205 meters above sea level, and over half of its base sits beneath sea level. It often doesn't receive the same height as the Himalayas. Don't miss these 51 facts you've always believed are actually false. California has more residents than all of Canada. Canadian residents celebrated a milestone in 2015 when the country reached a population of 36 million for the first time. But that's still about 3 million people short of California's population. Roughly 39 million people live in the Golden State, which also happens to be the most populous state in America. You can walk from the United States to Russia. Yes, really. During certain times of the year, you can travel by foot between the United States and Russia, thanks to 2 islands named Big and Little Diomede. Big Diomede is the easternmost part of the Russian Federation. Its neighbor, Little Diomede, is a part of Alaskan territory. When the water freezes in the winter, brave travelers can cross the short distance, about 2.4 miles, between the 2 islands. Do so at your own risk, though. While experts say making the journey is theoretically possible, it is dangerous and not recommended. The United States is home to the world's shortest river. Go ahead and name a few American rivers. The Mississippi, the Colorado, and the Rio Grande might be the first to come to mind. While these famous waterways get a lot of fanfare, many forget about Little Roe River in Montana. Roe only flows for about 200 feet, making it the shortest river in the world. Learn more United States trivia your teacher never taught you. 2 U.S. states do not share borders with any other U.S. state. They are, you guessed it, Hawaii and Alaska. On the flip side, 2 other states share borders with 8 states each, the most in the entire country. Missouri borders Iowa, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska. Meanwhile, Tennessee borders Kentucky, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Missouri. The western United States used to have enormous lakes. During a period called the last glacial maximum over 20,000 years ago, the states of Nevada, Utah, Oregon, and California contained bodies of water so huge they rivaled the Great Lakes. Over time, the giant lakes shrank as global temperatures began to rise until they eventually disappeared altogether. Here are 50 more astonishing facts you never knew about all 50 states. A piece of Africa is underneath the United States. You might recall that long ago, a supercontinent called Pangaea broke apart to form the 7 continents as we know them today. Now, 250 million years later, geologists have discovered a chunk of Africa that's stuck around in North America. It's located near Alabama, just off the coast of the southeastern states. On another note, check out the most famous zip codes in America. The 4 largest U.S. cities are in Alaska. When you think of big cities, you probably think of bustling metropolises like New York, Chicago, and LA. While those cities might be some of the most highly populated, they aren't the biggest in terms of area. All of the 4 most sprawling cities are in Alaska: Sitka, Juneau, Rangel, and Anchorage. Only one U.S. state grows coffee. Sorry, local foodies, but most of your beans will have to come from overseas. The only place you will find coffee beans growing in the United States, or in Puerto Rico, is Hawaii. And even more surprisingly, the pineapples that made Hawaii famous were originally imported there from South America. And Florida used to be the primary U.S. pineapple state. Los Angeles used to have a much longer name. Historians dispute what the first settlers called the city, but they can at least agree it was longer than lay. According to the County of Los Angeles, it was first known as El Pueblo de la Reina de Los Angeles, but eventually shortened because, well, that was quite the mouthful. You won't want to miss how every U.S. state got its name. Only one state is triply landlocked. A landlocked state doesn't touch an ocean, gulf, or bay. A doubly landlocked state means you'd need to travel through 2 other states, or a state and a Canadian province, to get to one of those bodies of water. The only state that's triply landlocked is 3 states/provinces away from the ocean on every side, is Nebraska. The state with the most earthquakes is in California. The Golden State might be known for its crazy frequent earthquakes, but it's actually not the top state for shakes. Alaska has more earthquakes every year than any other state, thanks to the fact that it sits on one of the world's fastest-moving underwater tectonic faults. The deepest postbox in the world is located in Susami Bay, Japan. In 2012, the Susami Bay postbox was recognized by Guinness World Records as the world's deepest postbox. It is located at a depth of 10 meters, 33 feet, underwater, and was installed as a tourist attraction for divers. The postbox is made of stainless steel and is painted bright red. Visitors can even purchase special waterproof postcards to send to their friends and family from the underwater mailbox. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.